Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP's cheating wife didn't actually believe OP would go through with kicking her out. Let's begin. Together for 10 years, married for 6.5, the end. Posted by Reddit user Throw This Away.
Never did I ever think I would be posting on a sub like this. Hopefully my language isn't too spicy, but I'm fuming mad. Throwaway, obviously. My wife, 36, and I, 34, have been together for an entire decade. We have 2 children, 2 and 5, and have been living together for 8 years. She was the love of my life, the apple of my eye, the most beautiful goddess I had ever laid eyes on. All others were unwashed dogs in comparison. Not to say there aren't many very beautiful women out there, but to me she was it. Now she disgusts me. I trusted her implicitly. Now I wouldn't trust her to organize a fucking tea party. She had my heart in the palms of her hands. She chose to chop it up into little pieces and eat it with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. She was the best thing to happen to me ever. Now I just want her to go away and get out of my life. A little backstory. In 2022, I severely injured myself at work, broke my back, and dislocated a rib. It will never heal, I'm told. This didn't really affect our sex life very much, but I went from being out of the house 13 hours a day to being home all day every day unless I had an appointment. I know I'm going to get a ton of shit for this, and I don't care. Nothing anyone can say will hurt me more than I already am. I don't need your sympathy. I just need to vent. Anyways, I digress. Over the years, we had spitballed, maybe possibly, perhaps opening up the marriage. Never went through with it. It never went past talking, and we basically decided it probably wasn't a good idea anyways. So fast forward to last July or so, she all of a sudden brings it up again, and I'm open to the idea, but still hesitant, and I didn't want to do anything. I agreed to nothing happening at all, in any way, period. So then she gives me this sob story, how she feels like she really needs to talk to this guy from her past. Not a good guy, but we'll get to that later. First red flag I should have seen. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I say, okay, well, let's meet the guy at least. Maybe we'll get some new friends at least, ever the optimist. So we get our families together for a barbecue. I'm uncomfortable as shit, like my skin is crawling the whole time, but I suck it up because these are her friends that I agreed to meet with no preconceived notions of anything happening whatsoever. Was just a meet and greet. I could tell it wasn't just a meet and greet for her. I also find out he has 4 kids with a woman that hated his guts, so she felt she had to leave her children behind to escape him. He has a girlfriend that lives with him who also has 2 kids that live there, and she had no idea about anything either. Now, I'm not one to judge, but this guy lives in a damn junkyard, like I was afraid of my kids getting tetanus from this pile of crap. Straight up stereotypical redneck with broken down vehicles and piles of trash everywhere, not to mention the whole pile of kids. Anyways, so finally, I break down and tell her we need to go. I freak out on the way home and ask her to never talk to him again. They apparently dated in high school, and she was actually his affair partner back then, and when it came to light, he ghosted her. Now I told her to her face that I was not okay with anything at all about this guy, and that he made my skin crawl. She befriended his girlfriend instead, hangs out with her constantly just to get closer to him. I keep feeling worse and worse as time goes on, and I keep having more and more freakouts. She knows the whole time I'm losing my mind. Couple weeks ago, I have a complete mental breakdown and call her out for her shit to her face. She straight up denies that she has been talking to this man. I say, so, show me your Facebook Messenger and text messages. She opens it up and quickly deleted the whole conversation, so I have no way of knowing exactly what it said, and I saw her do it. She tries to lie until she finally admitted to having an emotional affair with him, and I lose it. I tell her to delete him from our life and that I should divorce her for this. Blah, 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 blah. Scream, scream. Yell, yell. She fooled me for a few days. We try to work through it, but I still felt off. DAV 2.0 was last night. I knew something was up. I knew something was wrong when I told her she needed to remove him and all traces of him from our life, and she fought me on it. So I call her out again and tell her I need her Google and Facebook logins, and here is mine, so it's even. She loses it on me, starts blaming me for anything and everything, telling me I'm crazy. When I produce my login info and hand her my phone and ask for hers, she finally admitted it. She fucked him. I did not sign up for this. I didn't ask for it. She dragged our children into it. She dragged his girlfriend into it, his kids into it. Worst part is she says he doesn't even want her. So it was just for nothing. Absolutely nothing. I go ballistic. She works nights. This was at like 9 p.m. Thankfully, the kids didn't witness that fight. So she goes to work. I sat alone, in the dark, with my own dark thoughts, texting her over and over asking why, and that I loved her, but hated her. It was as like I was outside my own body, watching myself do this. I finally was so exhausted, only 2 hours of sleep the night before. I passed out at about 1 a.m. She comes home at around 6 and starts bugging me about 7:15. I say, like the hopelessly foolish romantic that I am, that we can still work through this. I don't want our marriage to end. We have children, and that all she has to do to start down this path of possible reconciliation and rebuilding is to remove him and all traces of his family from her life. She refuses on all accounts, saying, I can't love two people at the same time. I'm conflicted. I ask her again, and she keeps giving me the same answers. So I absolutely go batshit crazy. All the classics come out. Get out of my house, blah, blah, blah. Now here we are. She's going to work, and then she's bringing my car home in the morning, and her alcoholic mother that she hates and cut out of her life is coming to pick her up. That's it. That's my story. My children are scared, I'm terrified, and she doesn't give two fucks. Hardly a tear out of her. 10 years wasted, thrown out with the rest of the trash. I told the guy what I thought of him, and told his girlfriend what happened. Now for OP's first update. So it's been a few days now. I'm still an absolute wreck. My mom has been helping as much as she can. I feel traumatized by this. My heart randomly starts racing. I randomly start sweating profusely for no reason. Wild mood swings from rage to despair. Kids are confused. I keep constantly checking my phone for no reason. I find myself on her FB page for no good reason. It feels like I'm just floating around. Looking at anything in the house reminds me of her, and I get sad. She keeps trying to come over here. I have only one car, and I have to share it with her. First day, after she was asked to leave by the police, she tried to break into the house with an old key her mom had, and I caught her. She denied it when I called her out. A day after that, she wanted to take the kids to her alcoholic mother's house for the day. I told her that it isn't a problem. As long as they are safe, and I know where they are, we won't have an issue. Here is where I fucked up with that. She guilt-tripped me into letting her sleep here for a few hours, since she had no sleep. I say I'm not really okay with it, but I can deal if she just leaves me alone. She proceeds to cook the kids' dinner, clean the dishes, clean up the house, and just mill around in general. Meanwhile, I was getting more and more angry. Finally, when my face went numb, she was like, "Why are you acting hostile?" I wasn't nice, but I didn't lose control. She ended up leaving after I told her the issues her being around causes me. After I calmed down completely, I sent her a message setting some very clear boundaries that are non-negotiable. She agreed surprisingly. Asked my sister-in-law, whom is a police officer, if I could maybe get a restraining order to keep her away from me for a while. She said probably could get one without an issue, and that if I felt like I needed to get one, then to absolutely get one. Honestly, I do not feel safe in my own home right now, and I don't know why. I feel like a stranger here, been barring doors and windows at night, jumping at noises, hardly been sleeping, hardly been eating, but I have been taking care of my kids. They are getting fed, changed the 2-year-old's diapers, doing laundry, all the things a responsible person does really. She now knows just how badly she fucked up. Her alcoholic mother and her enabler husband don't even want her. They kicked her out, so what does she do? She calls me crying, asking for a blanket, a pillow, and a towel because she has to go stay at a friend's house or a homeless shelter. Told her I would have the stuff waiting for her and to let me know when she would be here so I can meet her in the driveway and that we need to have a conversation about this. Now, I'm a nice guy. I'm far, far from perfect. I have my own special set of problems just like everyone else. But I can't have the mother of my children living in some fucking homeless shelter. It's not safe. And the kids need their mom. So she gets here, and she is a complete mess. So bent out of shape, she was vomiting in the road. I told her I can't have her staying in a shelter, that I don't want to care, but that I do care. She cannot stay here with me, and that for lack of a better term, I cannot be her protector anymore, that she needs serious help, and that I will contact her family to let them know she needs help. She continues to apologize to me and say that I didn't deserve what she did, blah, blah, blah. I also am letting her take the car we technically still share because she needs to get to work. So she then proceeds to text me all damn night, trying to chit-chat. It's really messing with my head, and I replied as little and short as possible. Then she shows up again in the morning to get the car and asks to talk. This was not a good conversation. She told me that she really misses her family and she wants to see the kids. I told her explicitly on multiple occasions that I am not trying to take her kids away or keep her away from the kids. But if she just comes by every once in a while and then leaves with a bag of stuff, it's really confusing for the kids. Like, really confusing. It devolved quickly after that. I tried to stop it multiple times and she kept going. She tried to threaten me with legal crap, and I finally told her she needed to leave. Keeps trying to reverse everything back on me, like I'm the one that did something wrong. I won't let her, and that makes her so mad. I started sobbing when she left, and she came back and asking if she needs to call someone to help me. I asked her to please leave. She then texted me apologizing. She's trying to play nice and worm her way back in. I can't let her in. I might need that restraining order. I've contacted a lawyer, waiting to hear back. And now for OP's final update. Well, I tried. I really tried. For 6 months, I put up with her nonsensical garbage. We finally got into marriage counseling. What a disaster that was. She put in zero effort to fix things. Zero. She will not or cannot give me an answer as to why she wants to end it. I'd ask for answers and then be gaslit into thinking I'm crazy for wanting more of an answer than we're just not compatible. And then I'd press her on that and ask how and why and were we ever compatible. I don't want to get into the specifics of it. I would ask for the specifics then. All I got from that is you just don't understand spirituality. Untrue and hurtful statements meant to make me feel bad for asking a legitimate question as to why she wants to break up our family and why she decided to destroy me. She even said these same things in front of the counselor, and the counselor told me that she was answering me, and I just won't accept any answer she gives me because it won't line up with anything I want to hear. What a load of crap. This counselor is actually just a trainee even. Why is she handling complicated traumatic martial issues? That was a week ago. She left after that session, staying at her cousin's house now and takes the kids for a week at a time while she couch surfs. We had another session scheduled for Friday after we each had a one-on-one session with the counselor. I told her what was really going on, how this woman had treated me for our entire relationship and what she was doing now. Then, the appointment came up and she showed up and I asked if she really wanted to do it for the sake of our marriage. She tells me, I want to use it to be able to communicate as co-parents so that this can be amicable. My response was cold and calm. I said, how can this be amicable? Truly, how can it be amicable? We've been together for 11 years at this point, and you just decide to cheat on me and then leave me without giving me one single reason as to why. If you really don't want to try and make it work, then I'm done. I give up. You have until the end of the month to remove your things from my house, or I will have you legally evicted. Yes, I can do that. I rent this house from my dad, and he can go to the local sheriff office and get an eviction drawn up and have her served. She tries to tell me I can't do that, blah, 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 blah. Why can't this just be amicable? Blah, 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 blah. I'm done. I removed her from my cell phone plan, insurance, and all subscription services have had password changes. I'm done. I put up with 11 years of abuse. Looking back at it, the relationship started with love bombing hard. She almost immediately jumped into bed with me, bought me things, and did things for me. Once we moved in together, all of that stopped and the monster came out. She used her anxiety as a bludgeoning tool to scream and yell and demean me. All the while, I couldn't fight back or question what was going on because I didn't understand how anxiety works and I didn't understand her. So I put in the work to understand, and I did my research, and I couldn't get her to talk to me. Then, she pressured me into asking her to marry me, and then pressured me into having kids a couple months after that. In my mind at the time, I thought, this is the person I chose after all. Why not have kids? I do really love her. Oh boy, was that a mistake. It got worse after the first kid was born. I became the sole provider because she insisted on being a stay-at-home mom for a few years at least. I agreed. Then we had a second kid 3 years later, and you guessed it. It got worse. I had to work 13 hours days to be able to provide everything for my family, and I get nothing from her. Nothing. I would get up and be out the door by 6 a.m. and home by about 7 p.m., and then I'd have to cook dinner because she didn't want to. I'd have to clean the kitchen because she didn't want to. I'd have to take care of the kids right when I got home, on top of all of that, and I'd have to clean the rest of the house. She wouldn't even empty the cat's litter box every other day. She'd let it pile up for weeks if I didn't do it. I built a massive garden for her that cost thousands. Then she didn't want to garden with me anymore. Just another broken toy she wanted to throw away after she got bored of it. Then I physically broke myself from being burnt out at work. I broke my back. I actually broke my back, and she cheats on me in response. I can't do it anymore, but I love her so much still, and it hurts to let her go.
You know, this is what I truly wonder sometimes. Why does a lot of men today tolerate such bullshit behavior from their partners? Why do they allow themselves to be trampled on and disrespected over and over again? Is it brainwashing from feminists at a young age? Is it because of a lack of a strong male figure growing up? And as much as I am ashamed to say this, but this trend of pathetic men has already reached my country, a very traditional, third world religious nation. I truly hope that this will stop spreading throughout the world. This is just sad. As for you, OP, remember these words very well. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If your own wife has zero respect for you, then that's your own damn fault because you allowed it. Find a shark lawyer and kick her out of your life for good. Show your children that their father is capable of standing up for himself and be a man they can be proud of. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.